This morning, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced plans to expand and fortify the country's air defense.
I'm pleased to announce that Canada has entered into negotiations to procure Saab's airborne early warning and control aircraft.
Carney says the plane will be a key resource for the Canadian Armed Forces in the Arctic. And the CBC's Daniel LeBlanc is on this story for us from Ottawa. He joins us now live. So, Daniel, what more can you tell us about what we've learned about this deal?
Yeah, so it's a major announcement that kind of fell out of the sky this morning. It was a bit of a surprise announcement. We'd started hearing rumors about it yesterday. It's a major procurement. Overall, Canada said it wanted to buy these airborne early warnings aircraft made in Canada. So they're using a Global 6500 Bombardier jet as the platform on which they install their radars. So this was an election promise from the Liberals a year ago. But only a few weeks ago, the government was saying it was still analyzing its options in this for this contract. It's estimated at about $5 billion just for the Canadian planes that they want to buy. But Mr. Carney is saying this is an announcement for Saab to actually build aircraft in Canada for not only the domestic market, but also for NATO partners that might also want to buy this aircraft over time. 3,000 jobs is what he said over 15 years, and Saab and Bombardier building about 40 of these aircraft over time. To me, it's a culmination of a long courtship between Canada and Sweden, between Saab trying to sell its aircraft to the Canadian government. They talked about selling Gripen fighter jets. This is an entirely different type of aircraft. They're slower, they're not attack, they're more like defensive aircraft to kind of see whether or not cruise missiles, drones are coming into Canada, and to relay the information to other elements of the Canadian Armed Forces and NORAD as well to deal with this.
Now, we know, too, as you've touched on here, that some of the other companies that were in the running were American companies. And this now becomes the clearest sign yet of Canada's efforts to diversify defense spending away from the United States.
Exactly. So the Canadian government has said, has complained that about 70% of its defense spending goes south. The other two major competitors for this contract were L3Harris with a product called Ares X and Boeing with the E-7 Wedgetail. They've actually, they wanted to compete for this contract. There's been no competition, so this is a sole source contract. That's going to a European company, which is a major departure for the Canadian government.
Thank you so much for breaking this deal down for us. That is the CBC's Daniel LeBlanc in Ottawa.